something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. Time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs, mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoia strikes deep into your life, it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, the man come and take you away. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We better stop now. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We better stop. Children, what's that sound?
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, no, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me.
understand me, please let me know. If you cannot, please let me know. Use the chat function if you can. Here we are. At 1:45, can you go out and close the gate? Not all the way, but
5:45.
5:45. Yeah. Yes. Please. Thank you. Good plan. All right. I'm gonna butt in on the conversation over there. Hi. Welcome everybody. How are you?
Could be better.
Yes, could be better. All right. But we're here. Welcome to February 18th. Exactly. So first off, do we have any new members? New faces? Nobody been here?
I came here last week, but I didn't introduce myself. So my name's James Pacer, James Crystal Falls. And here, my wife and I are sick, and get to the point where words you can't even. I'm gonna apologize to anybody if I stop hitting last week. It's getting harder and harder for me to talk. Part he's my social person, doesn't seem people that not talk. So I'm not the way. So now I have to just so I'm just hoping to do something. My main thing, I was in that last fall gathering with Crystal Falls. I thought that was fantastic. And if I don't do anything else, I'm going to do that. I don't know how much energy and time I have to do. I'd like to do a lot more. I hope I can do a lot more. So I'm going to continue to come here to see what else I can. I'm a dinosaur, so don't anybody try to email me because I'm not going to send anything back. If you want to talk to me, you can call me on the phone. I'd be happy to talk to you all day long. That's how I do it. But
Good. Thank you. Welcome, Jamie. Appreciate you being here. And I understand the social anxiety and talking to people anymore. I'm with you there. So, but we're all here because we're all wanting to do something. So I appreciate that you are here, and that's a start. So, first up, right? All right. Yes, Andrew. Thank you. Can't hear you at all. No audio. All right. Hold on. Thank you. Let's give this a try and see if that works. Let me know if that is happening.
Yeah, and there are some of our, at least some of the officers are for sure watching.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell her to let us know if she can hear us now. If not, I will switch audio input option. So hopefully. I'm not hearing anything yet. Okay. Hopefully. We'll see. And yes, that is on. Okay. Okay. So, in the meantime, oh, better. Yay. Okay. Fantastic. Hello, time. All right. So, upcoming next. Yes, we do have YouTube. This is live streaming. If you know of anybody who wasn't able to make it, either they can watch it now or they can watch the replay. It is on our Facebook page. You go to youtube.com, Rise Up Indivisible. That's our page. All right. So first, we're going to jump into activities and events. We've got a couple planned coming up. And for the first one coming up February 28th this month, basically we're going to have a meet the board with board games and resistance buddies. So I will let Maggie talk about that one.
Ideas if you're bored this winter, then have fun.
Oh, okay. We have that. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, the idea is that we're going to beat the winter boredom and get together and play board games at the intermission, which is in the Super One building, right in front of the Verizon store, 2 to 4 on Saturday, February 28th. There will be refreshments provided by Indivisible. And if you bring your own beverage, we'd appreciate that. It has to be non-alcoholic. And if you have a favorite game you'd like to bring, Matthew, I know you do, please bring your favorite game, but not required because there are about 8 tables there. If we get a really good turnout, we just want to make sure we have at least 8 games to play. So bring cards if you want. I don't care. But yeah, it'll be a social.
Yep.
So meet up and have fun. And yeah. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you. All right. I know socials aren't everybody's thing. However, it's a good way to get to know one another and keep building that community. All right, next, March 18th, 1 month from today, general member meeting right here. We are scheduled, we are set to go. So 5:30 p.m. with a pre-meeting gathering at 5 o'clock with karaoke. At 5. No, I'm kidding. Kidding. Fine, we can do a dance party, you know. No. Gotta have a little fun, right? And then the next thing is March 28th, the Neck No Kings Rally. So, mark your calendar, Saturday, March 28th, No King number 3. Rally here, likely. Not fully promised, but likely here at the, well, I shouldn't say here at the library. It'll be out in the parking lot area on US 2, 11 a.m., 11 to 12, here at the parking lot. That is the tentative, assuming we don't have a weather craziness, all of that. So, tentatively, here in Iron River, US 2, bring a donation of a shelf-stable food item, and we will see if we can get some food for the pantry, because we didn't get to do that this month. So we want to make sure that we're getting food and donation for both the Iron River and Crystal Falls pantry.
We'll probably get a word on about making some workshop that week somewhere.
Yeah, thank you, Maggie. We'll do a sign making beforehand. Information will come out as we figure out when and where and all of that. But we will have a sign making party as well. All right. So now we're going to move on to the member forum. This is just a time for general questions, comments, concerns, regrets, as the New Zealanders say. That open floor for folks if they have anything they want to bring up.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, so are you renting this space? Do we rent this?
We do not rent it. It's provided for free. We're able to utilize it once per month. We're going to move to some of the other locations, like the Windsor Center and the big conference room. They charge. A lot of the township halls charge. Part of the reason we're here, they don't charge us. Yeah. Yep.
And we also like that we like the size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
I have something we're talking about here. Is a county-owned parcel of land. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll start it again. A couple of us were talking before the meeting about the county's plans to carry through with a timber harvest at Cook's Run. So this is a county-owned parcel of 120 or 122 acres, and a historic log cabin is there built by the WPA back in 1935. A very nice little log cabin, very unique features inside. It needs some work. County doesn't really. They put a new roof on last year, but they're very reluctant to budget the money to do anything else there. Nothing has been done to promote the area to residents in the county, other than there are people who go out there and fish on their own, knowing that the Cooks Run's a good fish pond. It's no longer used as a rearing pond for trout, but it's still known as a good trout stream. And their plan, because of the layout of the land, below the hill from the cabin is Cooks Run, and it curves around. Let me see, from south to north, sort of, and there's a temporary. Well, it's not a temporary. It's a bridge, but it's closed off to vehicle travel now. But there is a bridge crossing Cooks Run right there, and there is still the remnants of trails along the stream bed that were used by the people working the hatchery or the fish rearing ponds. A couple of weeks ago, 4 of us walked out there and snowshoed around the edge of the stream. We had done that in November too. Aaron and Rio were with us then. Then there was no snow. But this time we went out and we tagged trees that are going to be used because coordinates are going to be done by a surveyor, and so that we know like where the exact location is for the timber harvest. Okay, so the concern being that when they want to go in there in December or January and February of next winter to harvest this timber, it's a 5-acre parcel on we're going to call it the island, Cooks Run, and another stream encloses it. They want to go in there when they think the ground is going to be frozen, and that whole entire area there has a very high water table and a very stream fed. It's basically stream fed or spring fed, excuse me. So the water never really gets very cold. And we did find when we dug down to the surface level with our removing snow and then stuck a hiking pole in there, it wasn't frozen.
We've got a piece of property like that on one section of the property. It never freezes. I've walked there in the winter years ago. I don't do so much more, but
Yeah.
I was surprised that there was constant water flowing there,
Yes.
and it's an area that deer like for that reason.
Right.
But water. I guess it's just water moving across the surface. I suppose because there's a lot of places in this, and I know right where we live, where the Earth's surface, the bedrock is, well, of course, it pokes through the ground, but like around our house, it's like 6 feet below the surface.
Uh-huh.
So there's only, where can the water go? I mean,
Right.
So I mean, there's different reasons why that water is like that, but
Uh-huh.
I certainly know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen that.
How would you feel about having that area harvested with heavy equipment?
Because it's not going to freeze. Yeah,
It's not going to freeze. And it wasn't frozen a week ago after we had those 2 or 3 weeks of frigid
it's
cold
not gonna
temperatures.
freeze. It doesn't
And
ever
they're
freeze.
talking about going in there with state-of-the-art heavy equipment. So it'll be ripped up, and there has been recently a study done in there, which was funded by, is it Michigan Environmental something? I can't remember the acronym. Funded by Wisconsin Electric, and the findings of that data, the study went on for a full year, were that area should not be. There should not be any human disturbance in that little 5-acre parcel.
No, this study was done by the power company.
Well, they funded it. They got funding from the power company.
So another organization.
Mhm. It's a state funded organization that kind of oversees other environmental
So that's,
concerns and so
well,
forth.
that's, yeah, well,
I'm sorry, I can't think of the name.
No, that sounds good.
And yeah,
Sounds positive.
right. But the county board is they've not given a lot of credence to the study results because they want to go through with this harvest. They want to go through
small
with it.
potatoes.
So my appeal is the county board of commissioners meets the second Tuesday of every month. The next one I think is March 10th, 4:00. If you feel so inclined, come and listen to if there are, other people talking about it and give them your support, or you can get up and give public comment for 3 minutes before the meeting if it's on the agenda, or after the meeting if it hasn't been on the agenda. Just we'd like them to keep hearing from people every month, and preferably not the same people every month. It's in the court. Iron County, or Cook's Run is in Iron County, the very western edge.
I was gonna say, just barely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a jewel, could be made a lot of.
I mean, just by your. So another quick question. So isn't that where the lumber yard is?
Oh, Cook's Run Cedar is across Highway 2, on the north side of Highway 2.
Oh,
Cook's Run,
They're separate.
yeah, and they're separate. That's a privately owned
okay.
mill.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Here we go. Thank you, Maggie. Or I can.
I'm sorry.
Nope, that's okay. It still works. That's the important thing. And it's magnetic. So, okay. All right. Anybody else with other public comment period? Okay, great. Okay. I'll let you.
Okay, hi. So, this is a little awkward for Aaron and I, but we are asking for the group's help. As many of you know, we're both former feds, Aaron far more recently than I, and in the whole Doge idiocy of last spring, Aaron opted to leave his job because we could see the writing on the wall. In the meantime, we have started our new venture, which is Crafty Karen Creations, and that is getting going. But we are trying to get going on a new aspect of that. And given that over the course of the fall, we have basically depleted our savings down, we would like to get into long arm quilting, but we're not. Long arm machines are expensive. We've got a deposit down on one, but we have a GoFundMe page that we have set up, and we're hoping that we can build that into a local long arm quilting business. When we had a quilt last summer that we needed to get quilted, that was an oversized king, we wound up at one of the quilt shops in Marquette because the only other long armors in the area are in Ironwood or Iron Mountain. The Iron Mountain one was booking a minimum of 3 months out, maybe. That was her scheduling. And the one in Marquette could get us in, but a little sooner, but that meant going all the way to Marquette. And we know there are plenty of other quilters in the area. So we're hoping it'll benefit the local area. However, our GoFundMe has been has not had a lot of momentum, and we know things are tight. So if people are comfortable kicking in $1, $5, whatever, we'll have the information for the GoFundMe up here. Even if, like I said, we know things are tight, even if people aren't comfortable with that, if you'd be willing to have anyone you know follow Aaron's business, the business page on Facebook, Crafty Karen Creations, or any of the other socials. We've got it set up on Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok. And so if you can just follow and subscribe and do all the things on social media that unfortunately is part of playing the game these days, and like, comment, share, posts, things like that to help us spread out. Yes, Angie.
I think the Karen is spelled like the stones, right?
Yes, like the.
Maybe you want to write it after this if you
Yes.
can find it.
Okay, so I will send around two things, one of which has some of the information on the GoFundMe for the long arm, and then the other one is just kind of a general information on Aaron's business. Well, our business, I help, it's just Aaron takes the lead. So yes, it's named after our terrier, who is a Karen Terrier. So, yes.
Are you guys aware of the quilting club that meets?
We are. Unfortunately, Tuesdays are probably one of the worst days for us to try and get places that we don't already have on the schedule.
They have a long arm there that
Okay.
they can use. You know,
Okay.
If you need something
Yeah.
in the meantime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is definitely
I
good.
don't think it'll do it. Right. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a queen or
Okay. Something. Okay. That is good to know. Yeah, we haven't yet gotten to the Quilting Guild. We have known about them since they did their quilt show back in the fall, summer, whenever it was.
Yeah, we did
last
come
year.
on that one.
But yeah, Tuesdays are the most hectic day of the
Priya, here's the Terry Jacob Sportsman's Club.
Okay.
And they do really wired.
Okay.
That's the same one that is in Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you know, I think they take those numbers and put some on YouTube, you still have numbers.
Okay. Okay. That is good to know. So yeah, our big ask is if people are comfortable kicking in on the GoFundMe, that would be greatly appreciated. Even $1, but even if you're not comfortable with that, if you can just like and subscribe and do all the social media stuff and follow the posts, because unfortunately right now with trying to get a crafting business up and running, that's kind of the game we have to play. So anyways, that's the ask, and I don't want to take up any more time. Yes.
So if I'm on, like I saw you do that on Instagram today.
Mhm.
And if I go to your profile, is the link there for the GoFundMe?
It should be, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I posted it as another post on there, and so it should be on there as well. Yep. Yeah, I posted it on all the socials, all the stuff. Yes. All right. Any other member comments, concerns, questions? Other things? Going once. Going twice. All right. So now we're going on to old business. I'm going to adjust this camera. Okay. All right, guys, taking you for a ride. I know. All right, there we go. Okay, old business candidate questionnaire that is completed and will be going out to the candidates as I don't fall over. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks. Now that they have pretty much been finalized, I believe with the February, everyone had to get into the race and all of that. So hopefully that's all finalized. We can send out those to the various different campaigns and have them answer them, or ask them to answer them and send them back. We will do it for all candidates that are in all of the races for state and federal. So it's not just Democrats, it'll be Democrats and Republicans, just so that way we know who's standing where on what, and we can be informed.
Democrat, Republican, you said local again?
Local, state, federal. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we have any local. I'm sure we do. But for sure state and federal, because we've got our state senator, state rep, and governor are all up for election. And then also state, we have one state senator, because Peters is retiring, and our rep for trying to move Bergman on out. All right. Now on to one of the big topics, ICE update. So, I shared it out last week, or actually, this week. Wow, it's gone fast. Marinesco County, the old prison apparently had been closed for 8 years, and it was closed for a while. It was closed for 8 years, and back in the fall last year, actually, end of last year, Rep. Markinen had proposed that it be turned into an ICE concentration camp. That proposal was put forth and hadn't gone out of committee yet. So there was a township meeting on Monday. I found out about it Monday afternoon. 4 hours later was the meeting. And it looked like they packed the room based on the information. I do have a news article here from Upper Michigan Source. There's one over there. But basically, the township manager had talked with Markinen. Markinen said, well, that was proposed before everything in Minneapolis. With everything that happened in Minneapolis, he is not going to push it. And he said it's as good as dead. How much we trust him on that? Yeah. So, my proposal to all of you is to reach out to Markinen and share your displeasure that he has not retracted and rescinded that proposal. So that's at least a start. That's something that we can do. We can get our members calling him and emailing and all of that, making sure that he knows that we don't want that up here. The reason that's important, because if it starts in Goseba County, it can move to Iron County. So, the next thing is I would like folks to start, along with Kirkland, start reaching out to city councils, township committees, and county commissioners and say, hey, we want to do a moratorium on anything with ICE. We don't want ICE in Iron County or any of the local townships. We can look at Marquette. They just had a commission meeting yesterday, the second of what's going to be 3, which is starting ICE in Marquette County. They have pretty much all come out and said we're not going to allow ICE to move into Marquette County, at least for detention centers. They have not voted on it yet. That is the plan for next month. They're bringing a referendum to the board next month to vote on. So if we can get going on that, we need to start planning how we want to tackle that, even if it's just a moratorium. It's like, no, not doing it for at least a couple of years or something like that. Yeah, Maggie. I heard about that, and so yes, Iron County has a closed prison as well. So. Yeah. So it's something, it might not happen, however, we don't want it to happen. So that's something that we should get on top of it now, because it's something someone brought up at the Manistee Township Board meeting, was that once they move in, it's really hard to get them out. So if we can prevent them from moving in, all the better. So that's something that we need to start doing now, figure out how we can get folks, because even if we're not necessarily a township, we all live in a township, right? But some of us are in cities and things like that. We can still support others and still show up. There's still folks who were living in Manistee who showed up at that board meeting. So we need to start going on that. And I am open to suggestions on how we can get that going to make sure that it's not just the same 4 people doing all of it. So. Yeah, I think that would be reasonable. Are you okay with putting that out, Andrew, if we get it? So if we want to have a language and at the board and get that out, but if you're independent, okay, cool. The referendum? Okay. Yeah, if we can get that out. Probably, I mean, ideally they put forth a referendum, but at least a proclamation that they won't do the same. Okay, so resolution for ICE not to be in Iron County. All right, we will narrow that language down. All right, so that's old news. Now, new business.
At one previous meeting, we talked about, Laverne and I had participated in a Zoom meeting about data centers and crypto mining. And I put together some wording because I learned today that in Illinois, the governor has called for a free, what do you call it? A suspension of tax exemptions for data centers. So I'll read it to you, but we'll put it into our email when we send out the minutes to call or write Governor Whitmer. In the example of Governor Pritzker of Illinois, I urge you to propose a 2-year suspension of tax exemptions, or more effectively, a moratorium on new data centers until you've directed agencies to study their economic and environmental effects. The impact they have on the state's energy grid, water consumption, and noise pollution calls for increased oversight and caution in the current environment of rapidly expanding AI centers that has had little transparency and minimum public input. So if we provide that, it's an easy phone call.
I was just going to share, I was talking to someone yesterday that their family is in Memphis, and they opened big data centers down on the river in Memphis, and it has like almost demolished the area. They said it's absolutely horrible. What it's done to the area, the water levels of the river, everything's been affected. They said they can't believe the impact of having that crypto mining data in our data center. So,
Maggie, I love your idea. I would add to it that call with the script should also be directed at every gubernatorial candidate, particularly the Democratic gubernatorial candidates, as we go into primary season, to really drive home the point, because Whitmer's a lame duck at this point. She's got, 11 months left on her term, and we've got 9 until the election. So I think it would be useful and wise to start pressuring the candidates, since we don't know who the new governor will be.
yeah. Thank you, Maggie. Yes. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. Come on, get that fingers going, damn it. All right. Now on to new business. Okay, first, e-board update. We have had 2 meetings since the last general meeting, and both have been good meetings so far, basically kind of getting our feet under ourselves and kind of get going. Trying to figure out, okay, how we're going to move the general group. One of the things that we did at the first meeting was the creation of the President Emeritus position. The intent of this position is strictly an advisory position, and we nominated and voted and seconded and all of the things both Janet Wagner and Melissa Cardwell to both be President Emeritus, because they both served as the essentially exact rise up over the last year, and they both have fantastic knowledge. So we wanted to make sure to kind of keep that institutional memory going for the next 6 months. So they will be in that position for the term of the board, and then once the new board is elected, they will be released from that position. They can be elected in as a board member, etc., all of that stuff. But for the time being, they are the advisors to the board. Let's see. We're organizing, planning, trying to figure out how we're going to do things. One of the things that was brought up by Roberta, and she had asked, we need your ideas for how you want to show up. Because we can plan all the things, but if you're not willing to show up to them, what's the point? So, we need your ideas. So, we can either take a couple minutes to talk about that, or I can let you marinate on it, and come back to it, and if you have a brilliant plan, light bulb moment. What was that? We'll take mediocre plans as well, yes. We'll take all of them, just not too many lame ones, but okay, anyway. Step. Sure, you can pick the flavor as well. Why not? Okay. I'll come this way, but talk about.
what kind of fundraising, community aid activities, and rallies make most sense for everyone. And she's listed for our special event. So,
And I'm going to pipe in with the fundraising. Chuck is not here tonight, but he has done a treasurer's report at our last board meeting. And I think Rhea has numbers, so we'll give you the exact numbers. Let's just say we need to do some fundraising.
Okay, our total balance in the account right now is $530.27. However, there are a couple of outstanding checks that are being floated. The usable balance is only $280.27 if the funds for those checks clear. So that's where we're at, is we're south of 300, and we're going to be ramping up to event season with rallies and a whole bunch of other things. And where we can do socials can get reimbursed through Indivisible National, through their Indivisigather. We still, as an organization, need to be able to have the funds on hand to float initial deposits at venues, or if we, in the example of Liminal, we're paying for soup and salad bar and things like that. At the end of the night, Rise Up still has to be able to pay for the tab, and then that gets sent into National for reimbursement. So we'll get the funds back, but we still have to have the funds to float for anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks for any social event that we're going to get reimbursed for. And then we typically would be supplying things like the materials and a lot of the sign making activities, things like that. So as we head into social and activist season and all of that, and we're ramping up for more activity, we're going to need to have an organizational bank account that can handle that. So we'll definitely need to come up with.
All right.
Just a quick question then. So I guess I should ask you what is that? I understand that to me. Monies that are used by this organization, it's mostly going to go for things for demonstrations.
So it's anything from demonstrations, it's the social activities, it's if we need to rent a space, that it goes to space rental, it goes to materials for signs, it goes to the snacks for, even if we had snacks here, with Sandy brought cookies, FYI. So things like that. So if there is a need for the group to spend money, that's what that's for. Postcards, yeah, so things like that. For postcard writing, these came out of, take some with you. Those came out of Rise Up funds. Everything that we printed out right now, that's on our dollar. But in the future, if we can, for reimbursement, being able to get ink and things like that for the group. So, yeah.
There is another, I don't remember the exact amount, you probably would, it is pot of money that was the funds generated from the bake sale portion of the Makers Market, and that money was specifically donated and earmarked for community mutual aid, as opposed to demonstration zones, whatever.
I think that one was $235. Yeah, I think it was $235 specifically for mutual aid. So if there's a need in terms of someone had a house fire, or heaven forbid, or there's some medical bill that comes up, or things like that, or if we need to help with
projects.
Yeah, so that is what that money is for, specifically for mutual aid that goes back into the community.
I know we don't necessarily have a dues membership kind of thing, but maybe you could spend monthly.
Monthly dues?
Like $10, and most people could afford at least 10 monthly.
That's a possibility, yeah.
I want to pass them out.
We were passing a hat. I can pass a bowl if. All right. Hold on. Let me.
We did last time.
There was a bowl. I am sorry for everybody on stream who just heard that. Up close impersonal. So I'll start down here. There we go. Passing the ball. Since I don't.
Right by Kroger, you can start it at the other end.
All right. Quite literally passing the hat.
Also, I was gonna ask, there is, well, I should know this, but I don't.
Passing the hat.
If somebody wanted to make a larger donation, there's no tax deduction opportunity.
There can be, but we have to route that through municipal national, so that's 501c3 status.
Okay.
Chuck and I can get back to you with a better answer. There's a option where if we do a fundraiser, it's intended more for like envision like pancake breakfast kind of thing, but I think it can work for what you'd be talking as well, where as a chapter we set up essentially an Act Blue account with Indivisible National. They're the ones who collect and handle the funds for tax whatever, and then that money would come back to us as essentially a grant from National.
Okay.
If I understand.
That might be language you might wanna get succinct about, so we can just get it out
Yes.
to people.
So I think that would probably be the easiest way to do it if you're looking specifically to be able to utilize it as a tax deduction.
All right.
Simple fundraising idea, we just test the ball, put it out on the email that we need donations.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of sports people that don't come to meetings
That's true.
that would be happy to donate.
That's true. We can do that. So, Andy, can you make
Oh,
that
yes,
happen?
yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
It'd be nice if we could combine it with I think there's like
Oh, yeah.
438 members on the RISE.
There's a lot of, we've got 209 on, 210 on the email list, and then 400 on the Facebook. So even if we get it on the Facebook, yeah, get it out there
Some
straight away.
people feel like that's all that they can do. They can't do it.
Yep, that's true. That's very true.
Still logged in and listening.
Hmm?
Is Chuck still logged in?
I don't know. Check his login and listening. Hold on. Yep. Gonna try that. Okay. Tell me if the sound is better. Okay. Trying to look. Check was on.
Yeah, so Chuck and the rest of you want me to get that Act Blue thing figured out, because I think that would be the easiest thing if we're gonna be including a link in email, newsletter, and Facebook post to have people that aren't able to make it to meetings donate. I think it'll be the easiest for having that happen to route it through an Act Blue
Routing it
account.
to national, to an actual.
Yeah, and so I think that we can help Chuck with that, but as treasurer, I think that's going to be a thing that Chuck's going to ultimately have to be involved in getting set up. So,
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And I got a yes. Audio is better. Cool. Okay. So, Amy.
What I've been noticing on other sites, they're fundraising right now. What's really popular is merch. Everybody wants merch right now. So if you could, I know it take a little bit of money to make, but merch is hot right now. So we get anything that, you know, anything like that, and we can sell it even amongst ourselves. It's a big fundraiser right now.
Do we
Facebook
have
merch.
t-shirts yet from last
Hats even rise up on the back, something that has us on there as well.
Yeah, we had t-shirts last summer, but
Yeah.
we have more printed than we sold.
That's a Melissa question. Hey, Melissa, do we have any t-shirts left? You can answer in the chat and I will look.
I
And,
kind of think it was just people ordered them, because I remember sending in days and I
So I know she ordered a bunch and she had a couple extra, but I don't know if those were accounted for.
Even if we put it out saying that the picture and saying these can be ordered and say that it costs $17 to make the t-shirt, we can ask for 25, and that would be a little bit of fun.
Yeah, that's true.
And Leah commented on balloon up there, the resistance balloon. If we had that put on hats or shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
God, I'd love one.
It's not huge, but Roberta has done a really cool painting
Michigan version of that.
Mhm.
Yeah. That
With the
she
robin.
would probably let us have it.
Yeah, I mean, if we could get that image printed on shirts or on.
We'd have to double check because there's a lot of people who are doing it, and so I think it's free use. We should be able to.
A slogan that we came up with before the meeting. She said, "What did you say, Rita? Stay out of."
Oh, don't mess with the Northwoods. We're all a bit loony.
For those on the stream, Rhea said, "Don't mess with Northwoods. We're all a little bit loony." As the slogan.
I think that's a great idea, and I was just wondering, but I don't know where we got the first batch printed.
That was in Iron Mountain.
We do in our county have a place that prints swag, and I believe they would be happy to have us as customers.
Okay.
Black Dog.
Black Dog. And
I think she had looked at Black Dog, but the amount for the cost versus what we were getting at the time wasn't necessarily feasible. So, yeah.
And part of it also had to do with the company that wound up printing the t-shirt also had part of the original art file from last 2 years ago. And so because they already had some of that information in their computers, their I believe is what Melissa had told us. She can confirm that, but that was the other thing, which is keeping the cost lower at the printing placement.
Is there anybody else meeting tonight who might want to run with that? Well, there's also 906. I can check with them.
Oh, yeah.
They're local. They're right here in this town. Jenny. Anyway, she does it out of her house, but she's 906 Industries. She does the cooking, she's got the cricket, she's got all the. It's a smaller, but less.
What were you asking about running with?
This idea of developing some merch that we could sell that was identified.
Oh, coming up with ideas for them.
And finding somebody to produce it.
I mean, I
can find some numbers.
I'm not gonna design anything.
You said they could.
Would you buy?
But I would, go to the store in Crystal Falls. We around about, we know the store
Right.
there, and we wouldn't be strangers there. Once an idea was formulated or something, I would certainly present it.
And maybe it's worth something to have that conversation and say someone was here, one of our members was here last summer, but we ended up going with Printers on Mountain because they gave us a better price. Maybe there'd be some room for her to.
Becky, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
Okay, so swag. I like it. I'm here for it.
Cindy, where did you get your hat? This is pretty good.
Oh gosh, actually it turned out it came from Slovenia, but it was a Facebook ad that was attached to after Alex got murdered. But I was like, okay, I think you're ordering from somewhere in the United States, maybe even Minnesota, because of the Slovenia.
So Melissa replied back on the chat. There was only one t-shirt left over that was put into the box for being able to do pre-orders and things like that. So there's one shirt that I currently have. That's it from the previous run because we could always do pre-orders. We went with Advanta and Iron Mountain. They have the UP symbol that we used on the previous shirt. So because they already have it drafted, it would be cheaper to go through them again. However, I am also in favor of staying local county. So if that's an option, we can at least compare. It's worth looking into. Just so, as long as it stays in the UP, the big thing.
So this symbol is the national symbol?
No, this is the Rebel Loon. This came out of the Rebel Loon. So the state bird of Minnesota is the loon, and the Rebel Alliance in terms of Star Wars. So it's a nerd thing for anybody who likes Star Wars. So it's based on the Rebel Alliance symbol. So that's where this came from.
But they're doing all this
They've got it for all the states. So there's a robin for Michigan.
But there's state, different varieties of the moon, or just different.
Just different birds for each state. Yeah. Yeah.
We got a rabbit or something?
Yeah, we've got a robin. Yep.
Oh, real tough rabbit.
I don't know. There can be.
Hey, someone had a Batman sidekick. Oh, two of them wound up dead.
Okay.
So I was just saying that before the horse, we should decide on the design, and then we can submit it to multiple suppliers
And see what they come back with. Yeah. 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 And see what they come back with. Yeah, we could do that. So I
we
like
have to come up with designs.
Yeah, we need to figure out what the design for.
And that's something that the board finds and then brings the membership for approval.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Hold on, I can't hear you with all of this chatter. What was that?
You know, we're talking about, well, what do we want to design, put out
A call?
a call for people to submit ideas, like multiple.
Okay.
All right. I like it. Okay.
That's not bad for a rabbit.
I just searched Michigan Rebel Alliance,
Uh-huh.
and this
That's
one.
not bad. It's a rabbit.
Rabbit,
What's the
yeah.
red part in there?
It's
It says resist on the Robin's red chest.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Robin.
Yeah, it's not
I
bad.
like this.
I think,
But I love it too.
Yeah.
Wisconsin is exactly like.
it's got Michigan, like, John behind the.
Ooh, I like that with Michigan in the background. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So,
I had one separate idea for fundraising.
Okay.
I can project it.
I know. I'll come a little closer.
Okay. I know at some of like the festivals and that they have raffles. If anyone, I mean, I don't know if that's something we could do as part of a social.
We will have to be careful
Yeah.
with that because raffles constitute gambling in Michigan.
Oh, they do. Okay.
And so you have to be a registered nonprofit with the state,
Okay.
and we have to go through the state gaming board, or it has to be put on by an organization that is already with the state gaming board. So, like when you have the poker tournaments and things like that, the venue that hosts it is the one that's registered with the state gaming board, and then there's
Yeah, I was just thinking like at Alpha, I won the raffle for that big thing that we put on the float. That
Oh,
big
yeah, yeah,
painting.
yeah.
Yep.
You know, I'm thinking I was going to donate that for something for Rise Up, but if we can't do our own raffle
We
type
could do a
thing.
silent auction.
Oh, yeah, that would be a possibility. Yeah, there's got to be some way. I mean, if people have things they would want to donate,
Since
you know,
we are not 501c, we have some strict limits.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why I just wanted to bring it up to get started talking because I know there's been times I don't have money, but I might be able to make something to donate or something like that.
Mhm.
But a silent auction might be, I don't know, but just
That's a
something to
good
look
idea.
at.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
We're looking into. All right. Awesome. We've got some fantastic ideas. Awesome. All right. Okay. So we'll put out a call for artists with. How about this? We can put out the call for artist ideas for swag with the idea of the Robin Resistance Balloon. Resistance Robin. The Resistance Robin. There we go. Simple. I got the learn on my brain. With the Resistance Robin as a possibility, but looking for others' ideas and how we can include Rise Up in there. I like it. Okay. Let's see. Shooting right along. Software companies and ICE/DHS. I put this on here because this is something that came out this week. There are a bunch of companies that either have already or have stated that they will give information to ICE of their users. Google is included. That includes Gmail. FYI. So, if you are doing stuff, and I realize that we as a group currently have Google for our Gmail account. The board is looking into something that is a little more secure.
So the companies are saying that they clarify that for me so I can get it. Because companies are
They
saying
are
the information.
they're sharing user information with DHS/ICE of any of their users that have discussed, talked about, or otherwise mentioned being against the actions of ICE or trying to resist against it.
3 of them have already done.
Yes.
Google, Reddit, and Meta.
Yes.
Discord has not yet.
It has not yet, but starting next month, they are going to require, so they're going to put all users of Discord into what they're calling a teen account status. So you're assumed that you are under the age of 18 until you can prove that you are 18 or older. And so that's either showing your ID, using a third-party software that verifies your age, which conveniently that software is owned by Palantir.
Right. And Persona or something like that.
Yes. So, problematic beyond belief. They also got hit. There were 700,000 users or 70,000 users in that ballpark. It was the 7 that had their data leaked to ICE and DHS already, even though Discord has said we don't keep that information more than 7 days. So that's throwing that out there. Yes, yeah.
There's a question to the group. How many people know what Palantir is as a company, and how many people are as yet not aware of what Palantir is?
Not aware.
I don't think any of us are really aware.
Okay.
Briefing, Palantir is owned by an openly gay tech giant who basically is a MAGA fanatic. He is one of the donators to things like the Heritage Foundation, ironically. He helped fund some of Project 2025. The portions of Project 2025 that will involve censorship and data management are things that Palantir will be handling the backbone workload to implement those portions of things. If there's been a skeezy tech deal with the government in the last 20 years, Palantir has had its fingers in it if it involved surveillance or data management.
And name him. Name him.
Oh,
Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel. Yes.
It's also worth mentioning Peter Thiel is the reason we have JD Vance.
Yeah. JD Vance, right.
He solely funded JD Vance and his campaign. So that's why we have JD Vance as VP currently, because Peter Thiel wanted him in here. Yeah. So,
Elon Musk. South Africa involved in South Africa.
Yeah.
They have PayPal.
Yes, and PayPal. Yep, exactly. So it's all kind of connected, but it's something to be aware of. So if you have a Google account, I highly recommend that you take precautions with anything going forward. Meta, well, not all of us. Many of us are on Facebook. We have a group on Facebook. That's kind of one of those, it's a risk that we're going to have to each individually take. For right now, there's not a whole lot of other options. So for the time being, we've got the Facebook group. That's how we can kind of collect members. But Maggie.
Be careful about what we say across emails that we put out, but my inbox fills up with like news sources, just a ton of stuff every day that is anti this regime. So that also is probably reported by.
I would 99% bet that every single person who has anything that is even suspiciously against the regime, and that's even getting a news article, is probably on the list.
So if we Blue Sky, one time, set it up, but I had to use it. But if I use that for Gmail, I could use that, not just email, I could use that for email.
The Blue Sky is a social media account, but not an email account.
We discussed a few different ones, but we didn't really decide.
We haven't decided yet, no, because that was something I was looking into. So one of the biggest issues right now is we want to make sure that we've got secure email for the board and for the group, but we were looking into trying to find something that's
has a shared inbox, so that way we're not doing the bad things and sharing passwords, because that's not good. Don't do that. So we're trying to look into that. However, with encryption and emails, it gets tricky. And until we can afford to pay for a business account, it's probably going to be a stretch. So that's something that we're looking into, and I'm going to be bringing to the board next week, so that way we can hopefully figure something out. But in the meantime, this is something we'll discuss off of stream, because I don't want to discuss it, but we will be discussing Signal. I know it's been brought up before.
What about Tor?
So Tor is good. It's basically an extra protection with a browser. If you've got something with a Tor, it's good. You want...
You know, I mean, what I was thinking is, couldn't you set up something that's more or less on the dark web, and then use Tor to access it? Everybody uses Tor.
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically.
Yeah, and Tor is TOR. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things of trying to balance everyone in the group's knowledge of technology versus making it accessible but secure. And so, in theory, yes. That would be ideal. But we're trying to figure out price point plus accessibility plus usability. So.
And just a question.
Yes.
We've got Yahoo. Where is Yahoo in all of this?
Owned by AT&T.
Yeah, here's another one that's not a good one. It's not... For personal, there's a couple of options. I currently use Proton. However, Proton is a Swiss company, and they're based in Switzerland, but they have been known to share data with law enforcement, U.S. law enforcement, with an administrative warrant, not a judicial warrant. So that's like,
That's good volunteer.
yes. So that's one of the, yeah. A couple of them that we looked at yesterday were, hey, we got it. The first on mail, maybe. Tuta Mail, Tuta, was one they had a free option. The downside is because they use a special encryption, you then have to send a password to anybody who doesn't use Tuta Mail in order to open it.
With this in perspective, though, you want to communicate with people in this room, easiest thing, everyone in this room set up a Tuta account. If they're a Tuta user, you do not need to give them a user, a physical password in order for them to decrypt the email that you would send, because they're inside the encryption chain. That is something that Proton essentially does on its own. It does not have that additional layer of security. But again, it's Tuta is based in Germany, which comes with its own challenges that is not worth right now. It's too long of a thing for me to go through right now. There are good things and bad things about it being based in Germany. Right now, the advantage to Tuta being based in Germany is it falls under EU privacy law, which means that unlike Proton based in Switzerland, in order for U.S.-based law enforcement to get access to anything from Tuta servers, they have to go through an EU court, which right now is extremely anti-U.S. law enforcement and also very anti-U.S. tech companies. So that is the advantage right now to Tuta. Aaron and I are currently both Proton users. It feels a lot like Gmail. It's a little bit more secure to a point.
It's secure for anything that you have on your email. If you send it to another Proton email, it's fully encrypted. They can't get into it. If you send it to a Gmail, a Yahoo, a Hotmail, etc., that are not encrypted, suddenly all of your messages are no longer secure. And so that's the downside. Whatever email you're sending to, that person is not an encrypted user, so therefore it is basically as me going up to anybody saying, oh, hey, you got a book, let me look at it. Versus if it's another encrypted user, Tuta Mail, Proton, something like that is encrypted. I'm sure this sounds like gibberish.
you still talk.
Yeah. I send the back and
Yeah.
I hope to keep this discussion to a not crazy length and to stay out of the weeds, which I have problems with. Roberta, I have a suggestion for a activity, and that is within the next couple of weeks, we book the room at Windsor, and we have a couple hours in the evening where we do a high-level overview with a little bit of a Q&A for tech stuff, because I can appreciate that a lot of people in the room are similar ages to my parents, and trying to work this through to explain some of this stuff to my parents is always interesting. And yes, not all of you are as old as my parents, but I'm alive by millennial standards, and even I have struggled with some of this stuff. It is worth getting into the weeds on part of this conversation. But for this meeting, I'm not sure it's worth getting into the weeds tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right? So,
Alright. So, upshot, if you use something that does not say this email is encrypted on it, like if you look at the bottom of mine, it says this is an encrypted email address. If you are using something that does not say that, think of it as anybody at the company that you use can look at your email. It is an open book. Yeah. Yeah. So that's just something to keep in mind.
one other thing that I have pop up on Substack a few days ago, and it just said if you have Google Mail, you should know that Google is now turning over all content to their AI. And so if you don't take that off of your Google account, and it gave you a little description of what to do, and it was gone, and I never could get that back. The instructions and the whole thing was on a YouTube type video, and it just popped up on Substack.
I'm sure there's a security video somewhere out there that we can try and find and get that out to folks so that way they can look at it. That's another thing to keep in mind. A lot of these companies, they're opting you in, and you have to opt out of AI. So, they're moving fast. And I will say, if you need assistance, I am willing to help to the best that I am able to. So, let me just throw that out there. I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to help to the best that I can. Okay, I know, that's a lot. So the next one, we kind of already talked about this, is the closed Manifesto prison, proposed ICE concentration camp, and some of the things that we can do. I think, rather than spending a whole lot of time on this, because I do want to get Cindy to be able to do her overview and have time for that. What I'm going to suggest, and tell me if you're okay with this, that for going forward, we at least figure out what township everyone is in, so that way we can work on our township and our cities as well, because collectively we can work on Iron County. But I want to make sure that we can kind of figure out who's in what county, and make sure that we're hitting the townships, or not county, cities and townships, so that way we can make sure that we're hitting those boards as well. So, I will have, on your way out, if you didn't put an email, you didn't put a phone number, we've already got it saved, put what township, city you are located in, so that way we can match you up and figure out, okay, get little groups going. So, everybody okay with that?
You just gotta say that.
I can do that so we don't forget.
Instead of standing there.
Right, that's what I done here, and work around. Okay, thank you. Alright, so this is the part of the program of which we are going to say goodbye to YouTube. So well. Goodbye from everyone. We'll say goodbye. Thank you for joining us. We'll get you notes out soon. If you have questions on the signal discussion, reach out to me directly. I will fill you in. But otherwise, adios.